So today we're going to talk about the 5 mistakes that lead to chronic reoccurring back pain. These are things that we see our clients do all the time that come in that have been to 4, 5, 6, 7 different healthcare providers. And these are some of the things that they've been given, which is why they continue to have their back pain, or their back pain continues to keep on coming back. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to show you mistakes we see with clients with chronic reoccurring back pain that make and why they are mistakes, so you do not go down the same path that can be costly. When people go down the path of, gosh, I'm going to get these injections, or, these are the exercises that you should be doing, and it's really not tailored to what's going on with you, then that's when you're going to so many different types of healthcare providers and you're just spending money. And it gets to be very frustrating because you don't have answers and you're still hurting. So here's a bonus for you guys, for all of you that are going to stay with us to the end. I created a different type of back pain guide, something different on sleeping and sitting, and some exercises that really do help the majority of our clients. And so that's a bonus that you guys get for just being on this event live with me. And you will get that at the end. So make sure you turn off all your distractions, put everything on silent mode so that you can really just be present during this this talk. So I have this is a testimonial. This is a client that had back pain and had been to numerous healthcare providers. As she said, she's been to countless doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. And Stephanie's the first one who truly healed my chronic back pain. She's amazing. And I think one of the big things that we see is that once we figure out these people, like once we figure out what's going on, they have the tools to know why their back pain's happening and what they can do about it if anything kind of comes back. Because let's face it, we go back to our same bad habits. It just happens. We feel better. We kind of go back into our normal routines that created some of the issues, but then you start noticing that you're doing that, and you have the tools to basically figure out, like, oh, nope, I need to go back to doing this. I need to go back to doing these stretches to really help me get back to feeling great. So why are you here? Reason number one, you're excited. So that's, we're excited for you. You're excited to learn something new. You're motivated because you want to get some help for your back pain. And reason number three is you're just intrigued. You're intrigued to kind of learn a little bit more about, like, oh, wow, I just want to be educated on this so that I can make better decisions about my health coming up. So which one are you? Are you one? Are you excited about learning more on the common mistakes? Are you two, motivated to learn what you could be doing wrong that could be keeping you in your back pain? Or three, you're intrigued to learn why your back pain could be reoccurring, and that the doctors, these are things that the doctors won't tell you about. So tell me in the comments. I love to, interact with you guys. Tell me which one you are. Yes, love it. So whatever your motivation, I fully support you. That's what I'm here to do. My whole goal is to provide education to help you have a better understanding of what's going on with you so that you can make a better decision about what you want to do with your health and with your back. So a little bit about me. I've had 20 years of experience. I've been a PT for, gosh, I don't even know, 24 years now. It's kind of crazy. 22 years, 23 years, somewhere around there. I've been speakers. I'm about to have a book that comes out. I constantly am learning and going on courses, and providing education to other physical therapists as well. So, in the, 6 years that I've been in this current private practice that we've created, we've only sent 2 patients to back surgeries. And that's a big deal. 2 patients. Now, on average in our office, we probably send people maybe 2 patients or so to surgery per year. But when it comes to back pain, we've only sent 2 patients to have back surgery, and many of patients that were going to have back surgery, we were able to pull them out and not have back surgery. So there are times and places for surgery. We need it. It's amazing when we have it, but it's definitely something that can be avoided most of the time. I have 3 degrees in this area. Again, I'm a constant learner, so I love to learn. So, beyond my physical therapy degree, I also have my master's in exercise physiology, as well as my diploma in mechanical diagnosis and therapy, which not very many people have that. Actually, only 3 people in Dallas actually have it. It's took me a long time to get, but loved every minute of it because I just continued to learn and grow, which then allows me to help my patients even better. So, can you imagine what it would feel like if you could find a solution to your back pain? What would that look like? I mean, just envision it. What would it look like if you're like, oh my gosh, I know what I need to do to feel better and to get this, to have a lasting solution? Like, what would your life look like? What would you be able to do? And that's what I want you to kind of think about as we go through this. We want you to leave back pain behind so that you can spend more time doing the things that you love without fear of your back going out. So many of our clients, are so fearful of doing anything because they're afraid if they do too much, their back's going to go out. If they step the wrong way, their back's going to go out. They feel good enough. So I'm just going to stay in my little box, but I'm not going to do anything extra because I'm so afraid to really live my life because of my back. And if that's you, then you're in a great place. So here's where we're going to go. We're going to be talking about mistake number 1, which is core strength. We're going to get into more of that. Mistake number 2, we're probably stretching the wrong way. A lot of times we want to stretch our back muscles, and actually that's the wrong way. We're going to explain a little bit about that. Mistake number 3, massage is going to fix it, but my pain keeps on coming back. Why does that happen? We're going to talk about that. Mistake number 4, medications and injections. Often this route leads you down to the path of surgery because no one's giving you education as to why your back pain started and what you can do. And honestly, the medications and injections just treat a symptom. Now, there are times when they're needed, but most of the time, they're just going to treat a symptom. Mistake number 5, you have to live with your back pain. Like, you just have to live with it. That's what you're being told. No, it's a mistake. And, number 6 is, how do you work with me? And we'll have a live question answer at the end. So mistake number 1, core strengthening will fix my back pain. I do not know how many people have come through my office or what they found on Google or from a personal trainer or even in a physical therapist that we've got to strengthen your core and that's going to fix your back pain. And it is absolutely wrong. We've got to figure out what's going on first. And oftentimes, people don't look at like why it's happening, where's the source of the pain. And oftentimes the muscles are just the symptom. The weakness is because of the pain. And if you don't get to why the pain's happening, then you're never going to get out of, core strengthening is not going to work. So why core strengthening does not resolve back pain? You sit and then you stand up and you feel like you're 80 years old. That's not a core strengthening problem. And you must start with mobility first. So I always tell people mobility before stability. How does the back move? How does the thoracic spine move? How do your hips move? These are all things that can create back pain. And you've got to get that mobility back, because if you physically can't move, you're physically not going to be able to get those muscles to fire and activate the way they need to do, which is another reason why you don't start with core strengthening. Because if you can't move in those positions and you have pain, it doesn't matter. Your muscles aren't going to fire. And so you're just like spinning your wheels going, oh my gosh. I mean, we had clients who are like, I do Pilates and yoga and I have back pain. And I'm pretty sure, with what I'm able to do, it's not my core strength that's the problem. And it was absolutely correct. I mean, this particular client literally, she was very skeptical of coming in to see us because she had tried so many different healthcare providers, including many physical therapists. And she was like, I don't know how this is going to help. And literally we figured out in one visit what she was doing wrong during the day, and we fixed that piece of it. She was like, oh my God, this is a game changer. Now I know what I'm doing. And now I know how to change that. And then really giving her one stretch and explaining why it happened. And she was like, I already feel better today than I have felt in the last 10 years. And so this is where, her back wasn't moving, and she'd been given, bringing her knees to her chest and core strengthening and all those kind of things. She's been trying to fix it with yoga and Pilates, but it never would fully resolve. And that's why. So what some of the big causes of back pain is we sit all day, we're sitting, we're bending, and that poor posture is putting our joints in a position that doesn't like to be in. And these joints also have discs, and these discs have like gel material that's inside of it, and that gel material will literally like get displaced. And when that happens, and it happens and it stays there, it ends up giving us some pain. We have rings around our disc, and those discs will start hurting. And it's kind of like we have like a scratch on our arm, and we just keep on stabbing that scratch. It's like it's never going to get better because we are always doing things that are creating problems for, like, we're stabbing the scratch. So one of the biggest things that we have to address is what makes you better, what makes you worse. And a lot of times when people have back pain, it's like, when I sit, I feel worse. Or they feel better when they sit, but when they stand up, they feel like they're 80 years old. They can't get that reversal of their back because they're super stiff. And this comes from not having the mobility. So think of like a finger analogy. And what I mean by that is if you pull your finger back and you hold your finger back 8 hours a day, day after day, year after year, eventually that joint does not like being in that position. And eventually you'll have joint restrictions because you're always in a position that the joint doesn't like to be in. And so you can go and do the injections and massage and strengthening and mobilizations and all those things. But if you don't fix pulling your finger back, you're going to continually have that same problem. You can even have surgery but you're still pulling your finger back. You'll still have that problem, which is why it leads you to more surgeries. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So we've got to fix the joint and the positions that we put our joints in, because our joints are meant to move and they love to move. And if we're in these static positions for long periods of time and we're always bending in one position, which happens all the time, we're bending to pick something up, we're bending when we clean, we're bending when we brush our teeth, we're bending when we sit. Like, these are all things that we're doing, and it can create problems for us. So decreased joint movement and pain does not allow our muscles to fire correctly. It just doesn't, like I said before. And so that's why we have to start with the mobility first. So this is a client of ours, and he was told by other healthcare providers that he needed to work on strengthening. He needed to strengthen his core, and it didn't work. I mean, he tried, and he's like, I'm still in pain. And so after having years of back pain, he had a hard time doing fun activities with his family. And we were able to help him figure out what's going on, give him tools, give him stuff that he needs to work on so that he could get back to living life again. And this is a picture of him after we had treated him. He went on a trip with his son and did deep sea fishing and had a fantastic time. So it's a picture they sent us, and was very thankful for what we did. So again, it's just the case of, we're being fed these things, and it's not true. Like, core strengthening will not fix a back pain. Now, do we need core strengthening after we get everything moving and we want to get you stronger? Absolutely. But it's not going to fix the back pain. So mistake number 2, just stretch your back and your hip muscles and you'll be fine. That's going to fix your back pain. And it's really not true. So why bringing your knees to your chest to stretch will actually tighten your muscles and make you worse. So that's the first thing that people want to do. Like, you go to see a physical therapist and you're like, okay, our back hurts. So, and these muscles are really tight. So let's stretch those muscles because that makes sense. But in reality, a lot of times it's going to make you worse. Or it's just going to keep you feeling the same way. Either or, you're not going to get some resolution. So let's go back to what I was talking about, the mobility and that disc model. We'll talk about that here a little bit more in a second, but we'll get into why those muscles are tight. If you don't get into that, you're just treating a symptom. And so the muscles are tight usually because they're protecting something. And that's what we have to figure out. What is it protecting? Once we get everything moving correctly, that protection goes away and those muscles go away without you ever having to bring your knees to your chest. The tightness you feel in your back, your hamstrings, your hips is usually just a symptom. 9 times out of 10, it's just a symptom. We've got to fix the problem. So we often stretch and move the wrong way, which keeps us in having back pain. What are the things? The muscle tension is just a symptom. Most people stretch the wrong way. Bring your knees to our chest, rotate side to side, hamstring stretch, figure 4 stretch. We're doing all these things, but we've got to look and see how the joint moves. So if we look at like how the spine works, we have these discs that are in the center here. And we have these discs are kind of like gel filled. And see the purple on the outside here, these rings, that's kind of what we call the annulus, and that holds everything together. And most of the time, everything is held together. Like like even when we have pain, we don't get those disc ruptures. Now I have seen them in the past. They present very differently than localized pain. Even when you get pain down the leg, does not mean that you've ruptured anything. It usually it will present very differently, and it's very rare that we see it. Most of the time, these rings are intact. They just get damaged because of our positions and postures that we do. And so when you end up having where some of this gel just gets displaced because we're always bending forward through here, it moves the gel and everything to the back. So eventually it just kind of gets stuck back there. And then it makes it harder for you to extend backwards. It might be harder for you to do kind of like a side bend. It's because there's material there. There's joint material there that we need to essentially realign. And, the muscles, when you have that, will tense up and protect. But once when you get everything moving correctly, back again, those muscles will completely go away. So again, you've got to get to why is the muscle tightness happening in the first place. So this was a top competitive swimmer, and he hurt his back about a year ago, and he went to PT and got worse. And guess what they gave him? Bring the knees to the chest. So he thought it would be so good that if I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm going to speed it up by doing more. So he did it multiple times a day, and it made him worse. Like he literally couldn't even swim. And that's kind of what he was told to do. So he went to other PTs, chiropractors, still had back pain. He was devastated. So when he came to Dallas to swim at SMU, he was super fearful that he was just not going to be able to like compete. And he came in to our office and we got him back to swimming, in 6 weeks. Now, some of his back pain, it wasn't really coming from his back. It actually, his hip wasn't moving as well. And when he's kicking, he's getting that mobility, or he's getting all the mobility happening from his back and not his hip. So we had to go and address some different things that was not even back related, but it was mimicking things that were happening in the back. So yes, his back was a problem, but his hip was the reason why his back was a problem. But we were able to kind of figure that and look at kind of the whole body to get him back to feeling great and competing for his season. So mistake number 3, get a massage. They tell you, oh, your back hurts, you're tight, you have tightness in there. But every time you do, your pain returns. Why does this happen? Again, when I tell you, a lot of times if the massage does not last for back pain, it's because there's a problem. The muscle tension is a symptom, and you've got to get to the source of why the muscle is tightening up. So if you're just like, oh, I'm just kind of sore and you worked out a lot or whatever, and you get a massage and oh, that feels really good and I feel great. Yeah, awesome. I love massages. It's great. But one of the first things that you can realize that if it doesn't work and your pain comes back within an hour to a day or so, or a couple days, you're just treating a symptom. That means you've got to get to someone that understands what's going on. Your tissue tightness is a symptom. And this is why your back pain will come back within an hour or days, because you literally are not getting to the source of why your back pain is tightening up. Why are those muscles tightening up? There's usually a reason. And again, we've got to start with that mobility piece. So again, muscle tension is just a symptom. You have to get to the root cause of the problem. And some of the common areas that we treat, we've talked a little bit about for back pain. We've talked a little bit about it is, your lower ribs can create back pain. Your back can create back pain. Your hip can create back pain. It can be a combination. It could be one that we have to start with, like maybe you have to start with the hip and then we go to the back. Maybe you have to start with the back and that releases everything around there. And then we have to go to the lower ribs because there's still some issues there. Everyone's a little bit different. Everyone's a different puzzle, but they're definitely pieces of the puzzle that you have to look at. So again, daily postures that will give you problems eventually tighten up your muscles because our joints don't like being in this position. And so a lot of times we sit and we're in front of a computer and we're rounded. This also gives us issues in our neck. As you can tell, our neck gets forward, we're rounded in the back. But when you can get some lumbar support that basically can help take that curve in the back, you're going to be able to relax into that position, and it makes everything line up to where it looks a whole heck of a lot better. Mistake number 4, get an injection or medications, but why does my pain return? When you look at the research on this, it's not great. I mean, if you get an injection, it can be anywhere between lasting for a few days to 6 weeks or so. And then a lot of times your pain returns because you've got to understand, where's your pain coming from? Is it really a chemical issue? Is it something that's truly just an inflammatory issue? Or is there something that is creating the inflammation? And you have to know if that's if that's the case. And there's some easy questions that you can ask yourself to determine if an injection or medications are gonna really work. But again, a lot of times what happens is injections lead you down to the path of surgery because it's like, well, we tried the injections, they're not working, so I think you're going to need to have surgery. It happens all the time. And this is always, the doctors will always send you down this path because they don't think physical therapy will work. Or they're giving you exercise. Do these exercises, see if they'll help. And if not, then we'll go down and we'll do some injections and that should help. Like that's their answer to everything. Part of it is they don't have a lot of time with you. So they don't have time to sit down and actually really have those conversations. Unfortunately, it's what our healthcare system is these days. So really getting to someone that can sit down and have those conversations is going to be key in figuring out what's going on. So you have people that can spend time with you. Those people are typically the ones that you're going to want to spend your time or you're going to want to spend time with because they're going to sit down, listen to you and figure out kind of what's going on. But injections only treat the chemical side of things. So there's times when injections and medications are needed. There's times when we need to get things to kind of calm down and then we can start working on the mechanics of things, but injections alone rarely work. They do at times, but rarely. It's kind of like if you have that like backache and it's constant pain that's just throbbing, aching, but they find out that you actually have a kidney infection. Well, the medications are going to help reduce your pain, but if you don't fix the kidney infection, then the pain is going to continue to be there. It's kind of the same thing. If you don't fix the injury of why you're having this pain, then it doesn't matter. Then, it's just going to be a temporary fix. So essentially, kind of what we talked about a second ago, why the injections do not last is it treats the chemical side of things. And, when I went through my diploma program for McKinsey, we had to read a ton of research. I mean, I had a stack, like probably up to my hip of research that I had to read. And I was really shocked with the injections because when I went and started doing research on injections, it didn't matter on the back, the knee, the hip, whatever. On average, it was 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks that it helped. And what they said was short term, the injections helped. Long term, it was worse. So long term, general exercise, not even specific exercise to figure out what's going on to help you get back to feeling better. General exercise was better than injections long term. And that's what almost all the research said, no matter what body part. So, while it's there, we need it. There's a time and place for it. It gets used way too often. And then again, often, injections lead you down the path of surgery. And this is so common in the medical community. And part of the reason why is because they just don't have time. They don't have time to spend with you. And honestly, doctors, or not doctors, but hospitals, they know they make money off procedures. And that's what they want people to go to because that's where they make the most money off of. And so they like the doctors that do the most surgeries because they make the most money. And it's really sad, but it does happen. And I'm not saying there are great doctors out there, fantastic doctors, love doctors, but just like every, profession, you're going to have good people and you're going to have bad people. You have good physical therapists and you have bad physical therapists, good doctors, bad doctors, good mechanics, bad mechanics. I mean, it's in every profession. So our whole goal is to help you find the good ones, to help you get your life back. And that's really what we do. We really help partner and connect people with the people that we like to work with that we know that are going to give people the best results. So here's a client, literally, she had back pain and she's a runner and she was going to go run the Boston Marathon. And everyone's like, just go get the injections and so you can at least run. So that's what she did. She went and got the injections. She spent $3,000 on injections before her marathon. And literally it wore off by mile 20 and she was hurting again. And the doctors kept on saying she needed another round and another round. So 3 rounds later, her back pain was worse. And literally, when she came to my office, she was so excited. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you mean you actually can fix me?" And her doctor, her doctor that did the injection said, "Be careful with physical therapy because it's dangerous." And I'm like, "You're sticking a needle in the spine and you're telling general exercise is dangerous?" I was so appalled. I was like, "You need to go back in there and tell him that physical therapy actually worked. And it was much cheaper than the $3,000 I spent on the first round of injections." But yeah, 6 weeks later, she was pain free, back to running, feeling great. And I mean, these are stories that we see all the time. So, what have you tried? Have you tried working on your core strength? Type in the comment section, getting a massage for your back pain, taking medications or injections. Comment 1, 2, or 3. Tell me which ones you've tried doing and if they've helped. Mistake number 5, believing you have to live with back pain. So we see this all the time too. They're like, I don't want to have the surgery. I guess I'm gonna have to live with it as long as I possibly can. And it's just not true. Why you lose hope for getting lasting solutions for back pain? Why is our healthcare system so messed up in treating this area? And I just want to tell you that there is hope, because we see clients who've tried 7, 10 different healthcare providers without getting results, and they got results with us. And we see this stuff all the time. So we want to make sure that you do have hope, that you can get better. And our healthcare system is messed up. I mean, it's made it where literally insurance companies are cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting. And it's all about productivity, and you've got to be in the door and out the door, and you don't have time to sit down and have a conversation, which is why we've changed the way we do healthcare in our office, because we want to spend the time. We find that if you spend the time with them and you're teaching them what they can do, they don't come in as often. They're not in our office as often as other places, because we're teaching you and guiding you how to take care of it. So again, I just want to say there is hope. It's common for clients to see 7 to 10 healthcare professionals before seeing us. And a lot, it's for all the same reasons that we've talked about. They're looking at the body in only one way. They're only looking at the back. They're not looking at the whole picture. They don't have time to spend with you. They only look at it from like PT, we just got to work on core strengthening. Chiropractor, it's only joints. You look at the doctors are looking at like from a surgery perspective. Massage only looks at it from a tissue perspective. Well, you've got to look at everything. Like, it's everything. It's not one thing. And so when you can take a holistic approach to the body, you're going to get the best results. So this was a client who had been in back pain for years. I mean, was basically on so much pain medications and only sent to pain management for 10 years. And, every doctor said his only option was surgery. He could barely walk 100 yards without needing to stop due to pain. And he was 45 years old. He felt like he was trapped and there was no way out. And honestly, I mean, we told him this is going to take a little bit of time, because he was in so much pain and he was so deconditioned that we had to get like for him first moving correctly so that we could then get the tissues to start like working. But he said that I was the only person who said that we could help, but it won't be easy and it won't be quick. And he was right. But with much effort on their part and mine, he's now pain free and he has his life back. And literally, this patient is living in Italy. He's living the best life. He became a Pilates instructor. He's just having so much fun, and he feels like he has his life back, which is amazing, because he didn't before. And we, again, these are clients that we see with stories like this all the time. So again, we get the questions, are you really sure you can really help resolve my back pain? I've tried everything and nothing has worked. I mean, these are things that we hear all the time. I can give you countless examples in education to help you understand that it is possible to get resolution for your back pain, but it's your willingness to believe that what I'm saying is truth, even though it goes against everything you've learned and how to take care of your back pain. But that is the reason to listen. It's doing something different, and it's going down a different path. And that's like what our patients do. They go down a different path. It's like they've been told this. I'm like, we're not going to do that. That's not going to work. So let's go and do this. And we love hearing what clients have done in the past because it helps us understand you guys a little bit better and what's going to work for your body. Because even when you tried this and what do they do, it gives us information and feedback of like, okay, now we know how your body responds to certain things, and it helps us know where to start. So what would you be able to get back to doing if you no longer had your back pain? I want you to just think about that. Like what would it look like for you? So again, this is a client. He was able to participate in his kids' sports again without having the fear of his back going out. He had back pain for a year. Went to a chiropractor, helped to a point, but still was very fearful of moving very quickly, playing basketball, playing any kind of sports with his kids. But now he knows what to do and he's back to feeling great again. So what would it look like? What would you look like? God bless, I can't speak very well. So we have a blueprint to unlocking where the source of your back pain is coming from. And we have a whole concepts that we've kind of created to really help provide education to you on understanding like all the different sources of back pain and where this possibly could be for you. So you have really two choices. You can try to figure out your back pain on your own using YouTube videos, Instagram exercises, doctor visits, etc. Or we can do it together. And we have several ways that we can work with you. And that's what we're going to talk about. So you're invited to one way, which is a blueprint to unlocking your back pain. And we've created this for a very, 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 very low price, really just to kind of get you excited to, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to learn more about this. But it's a course that you'll go from feeling lost and fearful of having to live with back pain for the rest of your life to feeling inspired and hopeful that you can actually get full resolution to get back to your life. The first step is to identify the source. And that's really what we're going to be talking about, is identifying the source. Like, what are all the sources? And it's a roadmap to figuring that out. So if you don't understand your type of pain or where it's coming from, or you're treating a symptom, well, you are treating a symptom. So if you don't understand, the type of pain that you're having, where it comes from, you are treating a symptom and you will continue to get back pain. So we've got to get to figuring out what that looks like for you. So we have 6 modules on this. Overview of the spine. So you're going to get a really good overview and how all the muscles are connected and why you can have pain from your thoracic spine all the way down into your hips that can create back pain. How we feel pain. That's so important. There's really 5 categories of how we feel pain. Which category are you? And you're going to understand this. Common sources of back pain. There's 3 main ones that we're going to talk about, and then some subcategories. And why is there so much confusion of back treatments? And is an MRI a waste of your money? Like, just learning this alone could save you thousands of dollars. And why surgery is not the answer. Again, potential healthcare savings is $3,000 just from not having to, do an MRI or injections alone, and understanding if medications will help you is literally going to save you money. So we also have some bonuses. And here is, if you don't live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you always can come and see us. You can fly in and we can do an intensive, but these are my top 7 tips to finding a great healthcare provider. We all have common characteristics. And so like going from provider to provider to provider, this like savings thousands of dollars of just understanding. So like you literally can find out like, nope, this person right here, they're not doing these things. And I think I need to go find someone else. And so it's going to really help you navigate that. Of course, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, come and see us. We work with many good people. If we can't help, from naturopath doctors to orthopedic surgeons, people that are just going to sit down and listen to you. Bonus number 2 for doing this is how to know if you're wasting your money and time on injections. Now, there are some common questions you can ask yourself to determine if injections will work or if medications will work. I mean, you can ask these questions and be like, is this happening to me? Yes. Okay. Well, then the medications and injections really aren't going to work. So potential savings on this could be anywhere between $600 to $2,500, depending on if they're going to take you into an OR room to do anesthesia to basically do the injection guided, those are expensive. And medications after medications and going to pain management. Like I said, one client spent $3,000 on injections before that one time before going on her marathon. So like it's expensive. So if you understand these questions and if it's happening to you, you're going to have so many savings. And so I totally get it. We see people all the time who have been suffering with back pain for years. So we have a proven blueprint that I follow every time I help clients get full resolutions from their chronic back pain. So it's just an education piece that will really help you kind of understand your back better. And that's the first piece. When you understand it, then it's going to be a lot easier to treat it. So bonus number one, how to find a great healthcare provider. Bonus number two, how to know when injections are a waste of your time and money. Again, these potential savings are in the thousands. And what's the cost of this program? I'm only doing $20 because I want people to learn. Like my whole goal is to provide education. So I put this at just a really minimal cost. Honestly, just to get you to sign up and say and want to learn. I find that when things are free, people tend to not show up and okay, I'll watch it at some point. I'll watch it at some point. So I just wanted to put a dollar amount on there just to get you to like, yes, I'm going to watch this. And again, you can get started today. We have two options for you. If you live in the DFW area, you can get a free discovery visit, or we also call a back pain assessment. So if that's something that you are interested in, definitely make sure go into the comment section and you'll see those links for that to sign up for that. And option number two is a one-time payment of $20. You can get started there and just learn more. And again, at the end of that, if you want to sit down and have a conversation with one of our back pain specialists to navigate this and understand what's going on with you, we more than happy to do that. So you really have two options. You're not going to go wrong with either one at all. So in this course, it's for you if you've tried everything, nothing seems to be lasting, you're frustrated with YouTube, Instagram, Google exercises that are not working, you're too young to feel like you're 80 years old, you want to stay active without fear of your back going out, you hate the healthcare system because you've already spent thousands of dollars without getting results. And I get it. We see people like you all the time. So again, get started today. You're not going to go wrong doing either option. You can come in and talk to us for a free back pain assessment. It's a 30-minute free consult for you. Or you can do a one-time payment of $20 for our course. Again, both these links are in the comment section, so you can get those and start today because this is going to be a path to get you back to feeling great again. A quick review of the details. This is kind of what it looks like, our blueprint to unlocking your back pain. That's the first page of what the landing page looks like for to sign up for that. And this is where you enroll. You just click on the one-time payment and go from there. And then you'll see it. Congratulations, your order was completed successfully. Please check your email for login information for this. Well, it's not a live event. It's a recorded event, but it's broken up into sections. So each section varies in time. So you don't have to watch it all at once, or you can. And then your welcome email, you'll get a sign up email. It'll kind of look like this. This is not one of those events. We did this event live in February, but actually we recorded everything. So we have it all chopped up into sections. So this is when you do it, you can start it at any time. Everything's ready to go. And then one of the things I want to tell you before you do this, before you actually start this online course, and you'll see this, we have some questions for you. And we want you to fill this out before you start the course, because this is going to help you navigate your back pain better. What we find sometimes is people be like, oh, I think that's me. Oh, that might be me too. Oh, that might be me too. But if we can get some of you to do kind of a brain dump in here to start answering some questions before you go and take the course, then it's going to help you navigate this a little bit better for you. And then here is the free discovery visit. If you want to do that, or like the free back pain assessment, this is what it kind of looks like. So there'll be a link, and all you have to do is fill in your name, phone number, email address, and we have some questions that kind of help us. And then we'll talk to you on the phone, get a little bit more information, and get something like that set up for you as well. And so again, to get started, one option, go in and do the discovery visit. Again, the links are going to be in the comment section. Or option 2, a one-time payment of $20 to do the online course for back pain. And again, both of those links are in the comment section. So again, why are you here? Why'd you show up? Even though you're incredibly busy for a very specific reason, there was a reason for you to showing up today. And so I want you to think about that, and deciding, like, which direction you want to go. Do you feel stuck, that you've tried everything and nothing has worked? Because these are common things that we see and hear all the time. You're tired of being in chronic back pain, frustrated that you have not been able to get answers. We get it. Again, we see stuff like this all the time. You want more. You're intrigued by the idea that you can get answers for your back pain. That you've, been looking for, which is great. Like, that's why you're here. And so again, you're going to have questionnaire that's going to guide you during this course. And then we're going to have, understanding how we feel pain. Section 3, understanding 3 major sources of back pain, and then understanding how medications, injections, surgeries, MRIs can be a waste of your time. That section right there is huge, as well as all the other sections. And we don't want you to be afraid to believe that it's possible, because it is possible. We see it all the time. We have patients that come in that say they've lost hope, and then they finally get better in our office, and they now have hope, and they're excited that they did say yes to us. So again, option 1, that free discovery visit, that free back pain assessment, or option 2, a one-time payment of $20 to do the online back course. That is amazing. It's the blueprint to unlocking your back pain. And we're going to stop the recording, but we'll stay online for about 10 minutes to answer any of your questions.